And we got game number 1 between... Well, we have to hold that thought.
It's not a nice thing.
Don't hold that thought.
He got away.
Yep, Cuckoo's fine. We have Falcons versus Talon Cinder in game number 1 of this 2-game series.
If you're ever unsure what the Radiant team is called, you just look at their name.
Yeah.
And it literally says Flipster.
Well, it says Talon Flipster.
It says Flipster in front of all of their players' names.
Yeah, that's true. There's no R at the end, is there?
Flipster Talon.
Well done, everyone.
Yes, well done, Cinderin.
There we go.
You did really well with that intro. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's why you get
Appreciate
paid the big bucks.
I appreciate that. Okay, so the panel was talking about this last pick, Dragon Knight, and how it had to cover some weaknesses for Talon, and I think it makes sense to go for the DK here for that reason, but I'm really with BSJ. This looked like a very good Morphling game. I think the only hero this game that can kind of bother Morphling is the Monkey King with the Diffusal Blade. Aside from that, it looked like a... Honestly, I'm surprised, considering it's 23 Savage, that they did not pick that. Even if they think the Dragon Knight is better for the overall lineup, it's 23 on a Morph. But it's going to be the DK, so we've got ourselves a different game on our hands. Obviously, a great partner from Mirana. Long stun into long stun makes for longer stun.
Yep.
Strong combo.
Accurate.
Jokin will already be boxed out of top. He actually TP'd all the way back to base here as he got tag team plus meta'd. This leaves WS in a 1v2 for a bit.
Oh, he's going to be happy with that, Cinderin.
Yeah, that's great.
Solo XP for you.
Yeah, at the very least for him, they're pushing the wave, so it's actually not that bad.
It's ideal.
Yeah, this wave placement's actually really good for him.
He's actually not going to miss any XP.
No.
Oh, the range.
The range will be denied, but...
Yeah, so WS gets solo XP. He's happy now. Even if it's a denied. Very valuable stuff. So, yeah, looking at these lineups a little bit more traditional, I guess you could call it, from Falcons. I mean, obviously they had a lot of flex with where the Terrorblade could go, where the Monkey King could go with Mars. Well, maybe not so much Mars these days. But a traditional carry for Skeeter, not a Tide Hunter, Cinder.
Yeah.
You feeling more confident with their draft as a result?
I think their draft overall fits better what I have seen other teams have success with and what overall seems to be just good in the patch right now. But at the same time, Talon have made some adjustments to try to counter those things they're proposing with the mid-Monkey King facing the pop, for example. Let's see if
that tag
plays
team
way out of
is
this one.
Dirty. Fairy Fire pop, but it's not going to be enough. First Blood goes the way of Skeeter and Team Falcons. Snake King might be the trade, although he pops a Fairy Fire. Infernal Blade gets him quite low. WS does get Scorched Earth. He's not going to be enough damage, though. The Tango out-regens the damage. So Falcons with First Blood and on probably... Well, maybe you'd rather get it on Malrine if you had the choice, but Skeeter,
yeah,
definitely a good one as well.
And it's unrealistic to expect a First Blood on Monkey King when he's laning against Queen of Pain. That's kind of a pipe dream here, I would say.
Yep.
Watch it happen in a moment somehow.
Well, they can't get First Blood. It's already happened, Cinderin.
Thank you.
Kodo.
Actually got Jingu stacks there.
He does, and that's going to feel real juicy. 15 seconds from the next Boundless Strike, though. I will say this matchup has changed a bit because it is so much harder to dodge Shadow Strike with Mischief. I feel like when we see this matchup, I mean, obviously I don't have the stats in there, but it feels like it's 10 to 15% of the time they actually dodge it. It's very low.
I mean, you can't dodge the application of it, right? You can just dodge the first
initial damage.
distance. Yeah.
But it's not as easy as it used to be.
And it's impossible to dodge Sonic Wave because it follows through, right? I think it's on top of you for too long.
Yeah, Scream is the
Scream is dodgeable, and that's the big one you want to dodge if you can later down the line for Monkey King. But yeah, the lane itself, this generally is a good lane for Queen of Pain. You just outrange the Monkey King, you keep harassing him, you force him to buy some regen if you don't give him Jingu stacks, and eventually you kind of edge out an advantage. But so far, so good from Malrine. 17-4 against 13-2. Very impressive stuff here in the first few waves. That was less impressive, though. He missed a Boundless Strike on a creep wave. Okay. But it can happen. Didn't get caught on camera, so I might just be making it up.
Yeah, we'll never know. No way to find that out, that's for sure. Oh, yeah, he's off to a very, very good start. What do you think of... You talked about you'd rather have the Morphling on Savage, but Dragon Knight in this game, position 1?
I don't think think the Terrorblade matchup is that good. That's the biggest concern for me, is that they pick the Dragon Knight for themselves, but did they really pick it against anything? It's not good against Terrorblade. It's not particularly good against Monkey King either. So that's the bigger worry here for me, is they must be valuing their own ability to make plays so much more. Nice spear back here from Amar bottom, but they missed both Impalement Arts and he got blood grenaded. Oh my god, crit.
Yeah, some missed spells, but 23 Savage hits the fire.
Yep.
And that helps Cuckoo get the kill onto crit.
They hit the Breathe Fire and they hit the Blood Grenade. The Impalement Arts, not so much.
So tell me about this you say Dragon Knight's not particularly good against TB. The Breathe Fire damage reduction is insanely good against TB in theory.
Yeah.
But you're not laning against each other, so it's not going to have much application in the laning stage. And then when you get to mid to late game, how much impact would you say that even has?
Yeah, that's the problem, right? Later in the game, Terrorblade will have Manta and sometimes Manta and BKB. And a lot of the time, he's actually going to outrange you anyway. He's going to have Dragonlance, and he will play from very far away. And especially when he gets Scotty, the matchup just gets very lopsided. It's hard for DK to fight you. You have, the Corrosive Dragon's also playing on physical damage. Terrorblade has very high armor. So even your...
Yeah, I was going to say, with BKB...
Not many upsides, right?
If BKB is on, it should still work, right?
The damage mitigation of Breathe Fire?
I think everything should work.
I don't think Breathe Fire works. I don't think the damage mitigation works. I think it does damage.
Okay.
Pretty sure?
I would say we'll see, but neither of us care enough to actually check that out.
We'll see. It's one of those things that might not be very obvious to see during the fight, but I don't see why it would stick on BKB targets for the damage mitigation.
Like if you're BKB'd first and then you Breathe Fire.
I mean, it says on Breathe Fire spell tooltip, it says pierces debuff immunity, no. And I'm assuming that would be the damage reduction. WS.
He's surrounded. Malrine has made his rotation. Tag team is so insanely strong.
Doom's level 3.
Yep, that's a bit rough.
Not great. This lane is already hard enough as it is, and then Malrine, in addition, rotating over just adds insult to injury. And he's going to stay here. They're hoping that WS will just TP back in. Instead, they'll see Joe come, and they'll stun him.
Yep, Balance Strike to cancel the TP.
And
another tag team, and another death. Only question is who will it go to? Will be Skeeter.
He'll also take... This is going to be a full tier 1 as well. They have double wave plus siege creep. This is basically perfect from Falcons. And Skitter off to a dream start. Not only is his carry to carry matchup good, I think this is overall a pretty good Terrorblade game. And now you're up 1,000 gold on the next hero on the chart 7 minutes in, after you get this last hit on the tower.
Yeah, Makoto though, Invis level 6. Not gonna go for it. Very exciting. Just not confident enough in the damage department. Of course, Amar is playing it pretty safe.
He seems to know that.
Yeah, they might have spotted that with the ward.
Not only that, but it's also a process of elimination thing, right? He's not mid. We are pushing top, and Quap isn't there.
Wukong's command already. Cuckoo comes in to try to save WS. Was stuck inside shards for a bit, but looks like Falcons will try to run away as a mass rotation. Successful in defending, successful in killing off Snake King. That leaves Amar all alone in this lane. Gets dragon-tailed though, so can't find a good opening for Spear, especially with crit so close behind.
This is not possible, yeah.
Balance strike from Malrine though. Into the
really
review for the slow.
Okay.
Knife for the slow, a spear for the stun. 23 Savage actually will fall. The whip, and Malrine gets credit for that one. He is owning right now.
That was a max range boundless that Malrine opened that up with, I think. That was a very nice setup for Amar for the chase down.
I say he's owning, and he's 4th in network. He's all over the place. As Cuckoo, he gets off the leap in time.
It's just, you and I, we've cast a couple of Malrine games now where, honestly, one of my favorite things to watch.
He's bottom of the course, Synderen.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite things to watch in Dota is mid laners being creative when they're playing a bad matchup. And this is my #1 guy to watch for that. Remember the game we cast together where Malrine was playing Monkey King mid against Huskar or Viper? It was one or the other. He was getting completely destroyed. And he just, no, it was Earth Spirit, sorry. And he just left his lane, level 3. He just started roaming, and he was playing the side lanes, consistently finding kills. and opened up the game for himself. And I think he ended the game like 8-0 after having an unplayable mid lane.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it feels like he's owning. He's bottom net worth.
He has no
Record.
CS.
That's
He has
crazy.
31 CS minute 9 is nothing. The Queen of Pain has 45.
He's
so
not that far behind, though, to be fair.
No, it's okay. And I really like this adjustment that he makes, in particular when he plays Monkey King or the mid Spirit heroes, with just almost playing traditional position 4 style. It's kind of just running from lane to lane looking for plays.
The
This is
smoke
sneaky.
play from Talon.
Yeah, there's a banana, though.
Yeah, the
Don't
banana's
slip.
coming
Don't
from the
slip,
south.
Cuckoo, don't slip.
Dragon Tail. Arrow does hit Amar right in the ass, but a whip onto 2 heroes. And now a huge ult from Amar.
All right.
Skeeter even comes to play as well. 2 dead in the blink of an eye for Talon. Make it 3 with 23 Savage going to the grave. What a bait from Amar. And they collapse from both the south and the teepees from the north.
Man, talk about a dream setup. He got to do it. I think it was 3 or 4 man Tame the Beast, Boundless Strike, and then gets an arena on all of them. Queen of Pain, the only one with an ability to escape here. You're going to see the replay here. So look at them just line up for them.
Yeah.
Double, double, and then, yeah, double, double. Could do one of those right now. Yeah, too easy.
So with that, Falcons,
3K lead.
pretty damn good lead in the laning stage.
And
We'll see if we have not seen Doom. I mean, obviously WS just hit level 6, it feels like, because he was very underleveled for the most part. So
What is
caught
it
up with,
about this
that
hero
rotation.
that makes it always come back in Dota?
Who?
Doom. It feels like, all right, Doom is out of the meta for a month, and then suddenly he's first pick again.
Yep, that is true. Mass
Interesting.
TPs from Falcons as they're going to turn this around onto the Rasta.
Not wasting any time there, Malrine. So off the Boundless, back to business. Yeah, this is a pretty significant lead. You have everyone on the Falcon side have now unlocked their ultimate. Shaman is level 4 on the side of Talon. 11 minutes in, he's got some ground to cover. Cuckoo will arrow his way to level 6 in the jungle. But it is, considering the way Talon picked this, and especially with this last pick, Dragon Knight, I think you kind of want to try to find some sort of moments of opportunity. But the map is already being limited so much by this top tower being taken, by the bottom tower being taken by Falcons. They're just pushing you. So it's like more often than not, Talon will be trying to do counterplays more so than make moves of their own. And to be fair, their lineup isn't really well geared for that. I don't think this is a counter-initiation Dream lineup. This is one where you want to jump. You want to get in with the Dragon Tail and do the arrow combo. You want to use the Doom. We're going to try with Moonlight Shadow here. WS.
Yeah. Wants to open it up with the Doom. He will. Snake King. Shard's going to block a bit. And the Walrus Punch with the blocks. Into the trees, the Monkey King goes. Malrine looks like he might take a tumble here. Shackle ensures that that is the case. So big kill for Talent. Snake King's going to die as well. Although pops the wand, and Makoto will make sure that the job gets done. 2 for nothing.
Yeah, can they turn it into a tower is the question. Joachim got some much-needed experience there, so he will actually get 6 from this wave, and then they can drop the Serpents here if they want.
I know you're talking. I really apologize.
Okay.
I was thinking about something.
Okay.
The discussion we were having about Breathe Fire, BKB.
Yeah.
I feel like it should definitely work.
Okay.
You're dispelling on cast of BKB. So you Breathe Fire after. It's not going to do anything during the BKB, but after, I mean, Breathe Fire lasts a while.
Oh, so you're saying you apply it to them, the debuff is on them, and then BKB runs out, he loses his damage.
Yeah,
yes, of course.
It's a very long duration.
I thought you meant that the Dragon Breath reduces his damage during BKB as well.
Okay.
Like that it sticks like that.
No, but theoretically, it's still good. It has to be.
Sure.
Against Terrible.
Yeah, it's definitely not bad, but I just think the cons significantly outweigh the pros of this
And
matchup.
with the talent, which I assume he's going to go for this game.
Breathe Fire reduction? I think he'll take 15 damage.
You think so?
Yeah, probably. All right, let me tell you a secret about carrier players, okay? Carrier players see they can make their number go up.
Yeah.
They will pick I make number go up.
But
It's taken 10 years of practice for these players to not buy Midas every game.
yeah, he is donezo. 30 seconds on the deck. Nice setup there for Falcons. But at the same time, Dota players like to make other people miserable. And
Enemy
lowering
number
damage
go
of
down
enemy parry.
is not as cool as my number go up.
That's probably true. Cuckoo dodging a knife.
Yeah, he has one more leap now. He's going to need it.
Knife coming.
Dodge that one
Missing.
too.
But Boundless Strike now.
And
Ice Shards. And the eventual kill onto the apparent model that will be remodeled, according to Sheever.
Yep. Thanks, Shiva, for the spoiler.
If that doesn't happen, you can blame Sheever. WS on the run, pops the drums. Another boundless, and from the south, Skeeter comes. Gets the reflection. They have the control. They have the damage. But, well, it's going to be a trade still, it looks like.
Wisdom Shrine going to the creep. I wonder who came up with Mischief. I think it's just such a cool idea.
Yeah. I mean, that's in the actual lore of Monkey King, so. As Boundless Strike misses from Malrine, but they have the spear inside the Wukong's command, but he's stuck inside the Serpent Ward, so it's immediately canceled. 23 Savage in a lot of trouble. As the Sonic Wave comes in, does a decent amount of damage. Malrine gets boxed and saved for the time being. 23 Savage is dead. Snowball save again. So the 2 saves onto Malrine, but he goes into Makoto. Do they have the damage to finish him off? They do. And Malrine somehow lives. And guess what's spawning at 15 minutes? The
I'm going to go with Roshan.
Okay.
Was that wrong?
That was a 50-50.
It wasn't. It could have been any of the 17 different runes we have, or 5 objectives around the map. Could have been any of those. But it was the Tormentor. And we'll go to Snaking.
Ah, the Ice Shard upgrade.
This is just such a beautifully executed fight from Falcons in terms of spellcasting.
Yeah, so Sonic Wave, I mean, the box is...
The box doesn't block any of the damage, but...
It makes it a bit annoying.
It prevented them from completing the kill during the Sonic Wave. He still takes the full Sonic Wave damage since it's pure, not magical, but you could see the time that they were able to buy between the box and the snowball was enough to keep Malrine alive from everything, and effectively that means Talon spent their entire arsenal in that fight on not finding a singular kill. And all of that damage just goes to waste. If they had gone for a different target than Monkey King, they probably could have killed that hero. Don't blame them for trying.
Mark caught off guard.
He can be boxed up.
Yeah, they do have support here for Falcons. He's fine. He's just going to walk it off. And now we'll be able to get the Shadow Shaman in all likelihood eventually. Skeeter's even made his rotation over. And will be rewarded with the kill.
Does he have a shard on his way? No, he's going Manta first. Yeah. Okay, makes sense.
WS on the run. Zamar actually going to continue here. Has the arena, but no way to fully connect.
This map feels really small already for the side of Talon, I have to say.
That's because they're down 7K at 16 minutes.
They lost the tier 1 so early, and they're playing against a lineup that has Monkey King. It's Falcons, in my opinion, this is their best hero, actually, right now. Over the years, it's been, I say over the years, it's been like 2 years by now, right? But there's been like different phases. One time it was Timbersaw, then it's been Razor, then it's been Doom. But right now, this is the hero I would not give this team. I just think when they have Malrine on Monkey King, it's just a different beast. He plays the lane very well. This time he had an unfavorable matchup and still drew the lane. He's been moving around the map, enabling all of his teammates. He's 6-1 and 7 on the Monkey King. He's been part of 13 out of 16 kills that they have. Now look at the Roche as well with tag team. So we'll go to Skeeter, and there's Roche. He's leaving. He died, so he's had enough. He's gonna run to the other side. Come on, Malrine. You gotta roleplay the whole way, man. You gotta run all the way to the other pit. Maybe throw someone on the way as well.
Yeah. What if you had that skill inherently when you become?
You mischief into Roche. Just run around throwing.
Have we seen that actually work though? The turning into Roche, tricking the enemy. Has that ever happened in?
I don't think so.
Competitive, because that would be so funny.
It would be really funny.
Well, after going for the Aegis, they've actually lost 2K on their lead so far. But this is with the Doom. WS inside the shards. They see him. They destroy him.
All right, can we get a replay of that? Did Snaking know Doom was there because... Wait, am I tripping? Didn't Snaking dust him out?
Let's see.
So how does he know he's there? Is it because did his tag team show because he was in melee range of him? Was there like a little flicker?
Well, Mar finds a solo pickoff in the meantime. Yeah, that effect actually had a lot of bugs early on, right?
That looked like because if he was anticipating Doom might be there, you can just randomly dust, right? That's fair. But it seemed like it happened specifically after he walked into him.
Yeah.
So it really looked like he got a clue from the tag team aura. Interesting. All right, up to the high ground we go. 19 minutes. Falcons, they do love their long games, Shannon. So, going to try to get their first lane of barracks before 20 here.
It is 4 to 18, 2 away from the
Mikoto
Dream.
in the middle of the map getting hounded by 2, but he will live. Skitter's not backing out. He's playing on half health. He'll just keep going.
He does have a second life to work with, of course.
And
not
a third life because he has Thunder. Yep.
Boundless Strike to cancel the Shackle, and the Wukong's command to follow. Support. Kill right off the bat. Skeeter a little bit deep, but we'll go back to finish off the range racks as a Sonic Wave onto Skeeter and company. And a Dagon to finish him off, but that's life number 1 as they delete Cuckoo off the face of the map. And just like that, it's a 5 versus 3. But will they stick around to finish this melee?
And other news, 23 Savage is farming bottom.
He's not here, so I guess they will stay.
If this is how you're going to play your Dragon Knight, I think you should pick Morph. I haven't seen any Dragon Knight plays yet.
I forgot he was in the game.
And you got wrecked. Oh, never mind. Chicken
miscalculation.
Fingers. Chicken fingers.
There you go.
Can't chicken fingers the Mars.
1 set of barracks for Falcons already, and 420, by the way.
Oh, 420 in 20.
Yeah, true. The true Dream.
420 at 20:04 even. Damn.
Really impressive stuff.
That is honestly a godlike meme number. Up, punch.
Yep, Snake King.
Has to leave.
Snowball. I actually want to continue here. Puts down the Ice Shards, completely out of mana. Will take an arrow to the ass.
Yep.
But he has a thick one.
DLC of Skyrim there.
His Tusk. Down the strike on a Cuckoo, but I think Falcons will finally back away as Snake King.
Ooh.
Gets really low, but will survive. And Amar, this is such a weird engagement. What is happening? They find a Marana. That sentry doing work. Easy pickoff, and the 420 Dream has ended. It was brief, but it was glorious.
Talon could find a way to get -1 kill now. We could get 322 as well, but I don't think there's any way to do that.
Yeah. Maybe one day. Maybe in the next patch. We can put that on the board.
Decent poke here.
Trying to be a nuisance. He's taking a lot of damage inside the Ice Shards. He cannot blink away. He's dead. That is a pathetic death. That is so sad to see. And there's the Dragon Knight, and no more. As Falcons just rolling away with
23rd kill, Shannon. Another number things.
Yep, there's a lot of numbers in this game. WS takes the tumble. Surely you call GG soon. This is mega over. Amar, can they at least get him? Oh, the Yules actually dodges damage. Wow.
You know what they say, it's not over until the fat Marana face gets reworked. GG!
All right.
Well, that
was a game of Dota, apparently.
Was that the fastest game of the tournament? It's the fastest game we've cast by over 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. All right. Colt Brothers beat Edge in 23:09 yesterday. But
different game, different draft, different mood, different everything, just about.
Okay, unrelated. Have you noticed that when players type in the game, it says their guild tag, not their team tag? Huh. It says Creep Wave Amar, Creep Wave Malrine, and then 13 crit instead of the team. Is that normal? I don't know. It stands out to me, so I'm guessing this is... Whatever. Anyway.
I mean, has the game been updated for there to even be a bug?
That's an even better question.
That's right.
Has there been a patch ever?
Cuckoo being hounded by Crit playing the Bounty Hunter, which is a hero I definitely want to talk about. Not one that we see
favorites.
30 seconds to
all the time, but definitely one of those snowball type heroes, and I guess we have time to talk about it now. Your thoughts?
I think it's an interesting approach against Slark, right? If you think about how Slark, as a support, tries to get map control through walking around and finding wards, when you're playing against Bounty Hunter, you're always second-guessing yourself. Am I under a ward or am I under Bounty Hunter?
Right.
And Bounty Hunter also has the luxury of warding in very different ways than the usual lineup will, because you're invisible the entire game. You can just choose to go invis from level 1, so you can place deep wards, you can place them in uncharacteristic spots, and you see already crit with this top ward behind the enemy tier 2 tower, specifically tailored to kill couriers. He can place wards of this kind the entire game against Slark. And they, correct me if I'm wrong, they did pick it after Slark, right? I think in the draft order. Not vice versa. I believe the bounty was picked into.
Sure.
Joachim will find one mid himself. So he gets the first blood on wards.
Are you a fan of support Slark? Do you think it's, on average, good?
Yes.
I feel like this has riddled pubs for sure.
I think
it's a very high skill cap support.
Yeah. I think it's a really good hero, but you need to be, how to put it? I
Good
think
at game?
in pubs, it's a net negative.
Yeah.
I think I've played with and against more support Slarks that made the game bad than good. But when I watch Pro Dota, I rarely find, oh man, they picked support Slark. This is why it went awful. Like, at this level, people understand how to play with Slark, how to cover for his weaknesses and what he offers, how to draft him. Because that's the other thing. When you pick support Slark, there's a lot of stuff you don't get, right? The hero does not have any reliable lockdown, no slow, no stun, but it has other really strong aspects to it, such as the ward hunting, the ability to buy one of the best saves in the entire game. He can go into fights first as a support and actually survive and give vision and information. But then you obviously need to cover the fact that he doesn't do all the other things. So you need to pick the right type of offlaner with it. You need to pick the right type of team fight around it.
Do you think Warlock is the right secondary support with a Slark on the team?
I think that can work if you have enough playmaking among at least two other heroes. In this case, the Sand King and DK. I don't mind it. But yeah, I wouldn't say Warlock would be my preferred partner for Slark. I think something in the 5 position that I would say is probably on average better is going to be something like Jakiro or Ringmaster. Like these 5s that actually offer lockdown and playmaking potential. But it's all right. Amar's in some serious trouble up top.
Yep, being chased down by Cuckoo on the old Warlock as bottom lane. That's going to be first blood. Skeeter takes a tumble first to Jokamp, who dies shortly after the Snake King. So first blood for Talon. They'll be happy with that exchange for sure, especially considering the position 1 Doom, which we should talk about that a bit as well, because we just praised Falcons for not going with the old, hey, I'm picking an offlaner. This could be picked as a mid as well, and as the position 1. Snake King playing usually something that is not a position 1. But it is tanky.
Yeah, they're back to their flex ways again here, right? All 3 cores could have gone to different lanes. The Pango could have been mid with Doom offlane and carry Prophet. They did none of those, so obviously that's already one flex. But genuinely, all 3 of their cores, they've also played mid Doom on Malrine, but I think that's been the worst position they've played it in. I don't think the flow that gives to the game is that good, so I'm happy to see Falcons deviate or just give up on that idea, at least for now. Is this a better setup than running carry Prophet and mid Pango and offlane Doom? I don't know. I'm assuming the reason they did this primarily is to make Bounty Hunter's job easier, because Pango can fend more for himself in the top lane than Doom can, because you can farm from range and you have spells to protect yourself. Doom with a really bad lane can often become a complete liability, even if played by Amar. So that's probably what.
I assume 90% of these drafts, they don't know who's playing what until they know what their lanes are going to be, essentially.
Yeah.
Right?
Jokamp taking a beating here.
Super low. Infernal Blade not quite enough. He'll get to the high ground.
I wonder how good Skitter is at Doom. Like, this is not a hero There's no doubt about it that carry Doom is strong right now. Many teams are running it with pretty good success. It's just not a hero I would associate Skitter with at all. Because I suppose that in my opinion, what Skitter is absolute best at as a carry is actually playing go-in first carries like Sven, Chaos Knight, whenever those heroes are in the meta, or like aggressive style carries like Gyro. I suppose Doom somewhat fits that bill, but you're not like gonna just go in and kill someone, right? Like this is like a slow whittle down, stay in the fight type of hero. I guess Illusion carries another forte of his, not really in meta right now, like Naga. There's only one Illusion carry in Dota right now, and that's Terrorblade. PL is garbage. Naga is pretty bad.
Man, I forgot
Chaos
PL
Knight
existed.
barely gets played.
Crazy.
I mean, honestly, good riddance. But
Yeah, true.
I think that's probably my least favorite carry of all time to play against when it's good is Phantom Lancer. It's super frustrating, but
Especially as a support. But the supports these days get a lot of money. So
that's right. It's probably not. That's a big part of why PL is worse. Is that supports are rich.
yep. And his pounce.
Oh, Crit
Onto
might
Crit
live here.
outside of the sentry now.
Look it out.
And
A
he
blood
is
grenade?
going to get blood grenaded.
Oh,
and they
second
put
sentry.
another sentry down, and that should do it.
I thought they were out of
with the kill.
sentries. They had one more. I guess it was in the backpack of WS, which is why this took so long, but he swapped it in, waited for the timer, and they do find a kill onto Crit.
Yeah, we've seen Amar play Pango. I would say it's not one of his signatures for sure.
He has a lot of signatures, but now he plays a really good Pango. So it's just, he just has 5 heroes he plays even better. But yeah, definitely a very strong
6-minute power rune is going to be bottom. It's a haste as Makoto doing quite a bit of damage to this tier 1 tower. Cuckoo, though, he finds Crit. With Malorine's help, they destroy him. And now this is a 3 versus 1 because Snake King has come to play onto Makoto. Able to get the Dragon Tail in enough distance away.
Yeah, trying to force Falcons to rotate here by using that dragon form and then putting a support there for protection. If that was what they were going for, they did accomplish it, only expending their Warlock. Not too bad for the side of Talon. This, of course, will give plenty space to 23 Savage in what should be a relatively easy lane for the time being, but I say that Pango's actually level 5.5 all of a sudden. So he's closed the gap to TB. Now, your spells are physical damage, which is not ideal into the TB, but they still hit hard enough.
7-minute wisdom. Jokem trying to get some space from Skeeter, but Snake King comes as well, and they're going to take out Jokem to start this out. Makoto makes his way over, but you can see the Sand King going to die right after the Burrow Strike, and now this is turned into a 4 versus 1. Makoto just has to run. This is a big fatal bond, and of course there's not going to be much follow-up at the 7-minute mark, and Makoto might get run down. Indeed, he does. My goodness, what a turn of events for Falcons. They steal the Wisdom Shrine, and they get a bunch of kills on top of it.
And they use Malorine's Prophet just like they use his Monkey King, right? Time for a big objective play. He's joining. You can count on him showing up. On Prophet, it's obviously even easier than on the Monkey King. You just press one button and you're there.
Oh, but a nice pounce onto the Pango.
He's gonna live.
Gets a good barrier from the shield crash, and Amar.
That's a massive
right
barrier.
click his way as Jokem has to be careful now. Swashbuckle coming back.
Uh-oh.
Just a second,
Oh my
and
God.
Mike, the wrath of nature. Disgusting. The global presence of nature's prophet is something to truly fear. And just like that, it's a 6-2 advantage for Falcons, 2K lead.
The biggest part of
23
this.
Savage has to be careful.
The biggest winner in all of this is honestly Bounty Hunter. This hero really gets level starved sometimes at a pro level if you don't get the wisdoms.
They're going to try for this.
But crit 2-1-2 and double wisdom is really good
collapsed
news.
on. Frostbite to start things out, and that is the death of 23 Savage. Gracious.
It started out quite even, and then these last 2 minutes, Falcons have just completely crushed them. Every move was theirs, both wisdoms, and this means that you have a Maiden showing up with level 6 for that play. You have a Bounty who's 5.5 while scouting out enemy stacks. He's actually going to spot it here. WS gonna... Oh, never mind. Pump faking the Epi. Wants to stack one more time, it seems.
Of course.
And he has no reason to cast Epi. He can just farm it with Sandstorm. But this is a little bit awkward because he doesn't really know if Bounty Hunter is leeching, and he wants this for himself and for the Slark. The Slark desperately. He is the biggest loser of this game right now. Level 4, so is the Warlock, but 4 Slark is just... With no levels, this hero is just garbage.
Yeah, crit. Just leeching away to his heart's content. Not quite level 6 yet. Jokem will force him out a bit.
Oh, W. He almost died.
He got to be careful.
He got hit by the... What's that called? The stomp of the...
The Triceratops?
No, not that one. The one that gives you minus 50% armor. Is it called Petrify something? I'm trying to find that creep. Of course, there's no camps that have it right now.
Don't worry. I'm sure that'll bother you for the rest of the game. So
that's right. You know me too well.
Find it.
I'll find it eventually.
You could just alt-tab and, you know, look it up. But
that's right. I don't work like that. I don't do normal things. Oh, there it is. It spawned. Nice. Petrify. Oh, look at that.
Wow, you were correct. What a genius.
Uh-oh.
Snake King. He's going to get swiftly taken out by Talon, and now Amar has to be careful. Gets a big shield crash onto 3 heroes. Uses the Rolling Thunder as well.
They have Wrath of Nature.
And he's not going to try to go for it.
Oh, he actually sent it out now. Just for farming, I guess. Had the Arcane Rune, so he wants to use it.
The mid tower still up and running, by the way, with the DK. Getting it to only half HP at the 10.5-minute mark.
Isn't it ironic that Dragon Knight mid, one of the big assets of this used to be you put DK mid, he constantly pressures the tower and the enemy mid hero can't rotate. And now Prophet does it better.
Prophet does a lot of things.
Placing one Treant.
I really don't want to have this recycled conversation again.
I'm happy to bring it up every day until they change the Treant.
One day it'll happen.
Crit is dead.
Another stack for Jocam.
His kills are rather inconsequential, though. I guess the biggest upside to this for Talon, once again, is Jocam getting some much-needed experience. He's level 5. Just cracked 5, minute 11. Very, very late.
Cuckoo also level 5. I would argue that one is a little bit more important.
It depends,
He
because...
just gets 6. I think he consumed his neutral for that.
Yeah. Sure, having the Golem is definitely really
But it's
important.
a one-time thing, and then it's down forever.
But it's also, you need to have the type of fight that it matters in. Slark level 6 is just a generally really feels good thing. It's good for all stages of the game. It's good for fighting. It's good for farming. It's good for scouting. This hero just transforms completely upon hitting level 6. Whereas Warlock kind of does more of the same. He's still, you know, a team fight guy. Can't really do anything else than that.
Crit wants to set something up here. Doesn't want to make it obvious with his track. So just biding his time.
I think he made it obvious by walking in there, actually. The creep wouldn't have stunned if Crit wasn't there, I think.
23 Savage doesn't seem to mind. And Snake King coming from the other side, along with Skeeter. This is going to be an easy kill. Probably did not need the Doom, but better safe than sorry when it's position 1. Makoto apparently wants to fight this out. Snake King getting super low. The Frostbite holding Makoto in place. Cuckoo, he's got his level 6, but, you know, it's a CM that will just casually die to the right click of Jocam.
They forced the entire enemy team up here, and they're going to get a disengaged Falcons. So, mission accomplished. And I definitely think they should Doom there. I think it's a good Doom cast. The question is if they needed the freezing field, but honestly, I mean, why not? Just throw it all out there. Try to get the quick hit and run, and then if you have to cut someone, cut the Maiden. They did just that. And thinking about this in terms of like gold. So the 4K gold lead, you're playing carry Doom, so it is going to be inflated. He will be leveling up Devour. He's gone Midas. Your mid laner is Prophet. He's going to be stupid rich because he's Prophet. This is not a normal 5K lead in the sense that...
That's fair.
We need to put a little bit of an asterisk at the gold constantly, but it still is a very, very significant advantage, make no mistake. But this is the type of lineup that you can beat at a gold deficit. For the side.
Jocam forced out the Shadow Dance. Should know that Doom is down. Bottom lane, 23 Savage forcing out a TP from Amar, which forces out the Chaotic Offering from Cuckoo, but TPs are coming. Malrine ready to go, and now the Rolling Thunder from Amar, potentially setting something up as the rest of Talon have come. A big Wrath of Nature, though. As Malrine, he's going to be surrounded. Looks like he's going to be the first to die. Jocam able to pounce away. Shuriken doing a decent amount, actually, but 23 Savage, yeah, just sunder your ally. Your poor support. So a good turn of events for Talon, despite being down 3K.
Just leveraging the fact that they have team fight and Falcons don't. Right? The only team fight ability Falcons have is
okay.
That was a track kill, actually.
Yeah, diffusal.
The Panko roll is very powerful, but this is not a good area to use it for repeated rolls.
It'll cost Crit his life. Well, outside of the sentry now.
You say that.
Well, he's not invisible, I guess, either way.
He's fine.
Yeah, he is okay. Gets away with murder. So another Wisdom Shrine. That means 4 of them, I believe, for Falcons so far.
I'll take your tribute.
And a Tormentor about to spawn.
They'll get that too.
See, Falcons are ready to take it.
If they wanted to go there now, they could. I guess it's a little bit awkward for their lineup, to be fair. They don't have a very good lineup for taking it. But they also don't have to. As long as Talon don't get it, I think Falcons are relatively happy to just farm away. This is now going to be the Radiance for Skitter. He sells his Midas.
Okay.
It's one of the more interesting applications of the Devil's Bargain, because usually you would think Doom wants Midas and Radiance, but it should be a bigger GPM increase to sell the Midas to get the Radiance farm speed immediately.
I'm guessing if you rebuy Midas, the cooldown is still applied from the last one.
Yeah, but there's otherwise you would be 6 slotted, yeah.
Yeah, but we've seen some of these bugs occur very recently. It's a big rack of nature again. Jokam inside his ult will still die, and they get the Sand King as well. My goodness.
I mean, that kind of was a non-play. You didn't have Sand King ult. This is a Doom with Radiance. You just tried to initiate into. I think that's kind of a big blunder there.
Well, to be fair, they didn't know he had Radiance.
I guess they had. Weren't they the ones to initiate on him with Slark Vision? They could have clicked on him.
Not everybody does that.
That's true. I'm not saying they knew for a fact, but they had access to the information when they made the play, right? But either way, whether he had Radiance there or not, honestly don't think it matters. They were cooked. They didn't have the damage to kill him. Backup was there from Falcons, and they will continue with their greedy ramp up here with Prophet as well as Doom just farming away. And it feels like Talon should be, especially with this mid Dragon Knight, really trying to take initiative here, right? You've got the Blink Dagger into Mage Slayer second on the way here soon. Mikoto would love to find fights together with his Sand King. Poking and prodding at 23 Savage.
He's at half HP, wants a Thunder target. Obviously can't do it on Amar. Currently spell immune, and that is a kill for Falcons. And the epicenter, that is a yikes. If it was a little earlier, maybe they could have saved 23 Savage. Cuckoo won't bother with a Chaotic Offering, obviously, as he gets run down. And this is getting worse and worse for Talon. Falcons in firm control.
As we talked about before game 1 of the series, Talon looked quite good yesterday. This has not been the same team so far.
And Falcons looked pretty shaky.
Yeah, there's definitely been some leveling here, up and down, since yesterday's games. Falcons now 10k lead, minute 17. It is still slightly inflated, but we're starting to get somewhere here.
Snake King gets his favorite shard in the game, I'm sure, the Crystal Clone.
That one feels really good.
I feel like he just sits in the jungle the whole game once he gets this, and then he exits with a ton of farm.
Is he the greediest 5 in the pro scene?
That's a tough one.
Trying to think of someone who's greedier than him.
On CM, I would say, for sure.
Like, who farms more than Snake King that's a 5? Struggling to come up with
might
anyone.
Be him. Dragon Tail onto Amar. Gets burrowed as well. Shield Crash, not enough. No, the Chaotic Offering is actually going to be used, but I'm pretty sure Malorine can just walk away, so a big wasted ult for Talon.
Okay.
He might be able to find crit, though. Dragon Tail, they have the vision for now. And they have the kill as well. So double kill for Mikoto. Maybe they can turn this into a Roche with the Chaotic Offering Golem.
Yeah, I would actually really like to see them do that. If they could somehow force that now, that would be very nice, but that needed to be an instant play call, and Savage needs to be there, and he doesn't have TP, so that's why they can't do it. He's down
Falcons,
bottom.
In 12 seconds, they can instantly fight, so it had to have been quick.
Yeah. I think they would have tried for it if 23 was part of the play, but he was in the bottom half and had no way of connecting. You can't kill it without TP here. He has to do the majority of the damage, so it's still something, right? Like, you got to look at this from Talon's perspective of nothing good has really happened for 5 minutes. Just getting a couple of kills. When you're this far behind, those kills are worth a lot of creeps.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
That was Amar's first death in the game. He's avoided death all the other times, just barely looted them with his double shield crash. Not enough that time, though.
Crit has drums. We'll be going for a pipe as they find Jokam on the high ground. Gets frostbit, but Dark Pact into the Shadow Dance.
My
so they
God,
have
that damage.
so much damage. Following him in that Shadow Dance, Amar going to ignore as Jokam burning ever so slowly to the Scorched Earth Radiance combination. And Amar actually avoiding the enemy hero in order to get Skeeter the kill. That is...
I'm going to chalk that up to a mistake. That does not seem like something Amar would do. I think he just missed.
That looked quite deliberate. I'm going to give him credit where credit's due. If this was... I was going to say 3 years. If this was 6 months ago...
Radiant are scanning.
We reached a point now where we're giving
greedy.
Amar credit for missing spells. Good job.
That's true. A crit. He's going to be a very tanky boy.
Yeah. That's one of the
Especially
cool
once
things
he
about
gets,
Bounty.
I love his talent, by the way. Is it the 15?
The shuriken toss slow, or?
No, damage taken in Shadow Walk.
That's 15, yeah.
15. It's so good.
That one is amazing when you have Shard. But yeah, that's one of the things I really like about Bounty Hunter as a hero. When you can buy literally every item, it feels like. There's nothing mandatory. This is not a position 4 that needs to buy defensive stuff. It's not a position 4 that needs to buy Blink. This is funny.
He's been there every time. All they want is one Wisdom Shrine.
I got it!
Yeah, they did get
Yay.
it eventually.
But Bounty Hunter's range of items is really wide, right? Some games you see him go Orchid, sometimes you see Yules, sometimes you see Drums, sometimes you see Pipe, Greaves, all this stuff. This time around, it will be the Drum Pipe for crit. Really like that. I think it makes a ton of sense here. Get the Drum for... The type of fights that they're taking are very much run at the enemy team and stick on them with Doom and Prophet, so they benefit a lot from the Drum.
Yeah, good against Upheaval. Especially once you get the...
Buy Bongo Boots later. And yeah, the Pipe against Sand King is just...
mandatory.
Super feels good. I think it's one of the only cores in Dota right now I would say that it's worth buying Pipe against one hero. Because a lot of the time, if the enemy team has one magic damage hero, you're kind of like, do I really buy Pipe for that? Sand King just is so much.
My goodness. Epicenter to follow, though. They've lost one into the chaotic offering with the Fatal Bonds. Double kill for WS, showcasing his newly picked up Aghanim Scepter. So a good bait and switch from Talon.
Could have used the Pipe there.
Very true.
They don't have it yet. Not even close.
No, still a ways away, but you can see why they would want it just based on that alone.
To be honest, this is not that bad for Talon, right? Like, they were 10k behind 5 minutes ago.
Radiant's middle
We're down to
tower is under
7.
attack.
You're playing against Doom Prophet. They're going to be rich, but their impact per gold should be lower than a hero like Terrorblade. So, all in all, I mean, the last game was over now. So, it's already better. But this does not feel like a given win for Falcons whatsoever right now. Welcome.
We've seen many a game where Terrorblades can just dominate if given enough time. Has the Manta style now for 23 Savage. Has the... Okay, let me ask you this. When you pick a Slark support, at what point are you like, all right, this is paid off? Like, is the early game the most important, or is it the mid game where you're dewarding?
I'd say it's mainly the mid-late game.
Okay.
Because you're rarely getting payoff in this hero in the early game, right? That's his weakest part, is the
He
laning
is
stage.
trash in lane. Well, part of it is like, we got through the laning stage with a Slark. That's good. That was worth it then, right?
Oh, you mean like that? Yeah, I guess. If you can draw your lane with Slark, I think that's already really good, right? If you get to that point, because that's when Slark starts paying off, is when he gets to these items like he has now with the Yules plus Shard. The amount of teamfight utility and disruption this hero causes is really significant. And this is a great Slark game. Except if you were playing carry, because then you would get doomed and hate life.
Well, you'd be playing carry Slark in and of itself.
Yeah, so you'd be making a mistake, right? But as support Slark in this game, there's nothing that's really dangerous. You can Dark Pact off Crystal Maiden stuff, Track you can remove, you can break out of Pango Roll,
No.
you can jump out of Sprout. There's actually nothing stopping you from just going in, scouting, resetting, getting out,
And
giving
if
your
you
team
get
vision.
doomed, then that's a position for getting
Exactly.
doomed, and you're happy.
That's why you don't even mind really getting doomed here, I think. And even if you do get doomed, you're not necessarily dead on the spot, right? Because you can Yule yourself, you can buy some time. So.
Are scanning.
Oh, yeah, they got the dust. Makoto, they've been tracking crit for quite a while.
He did.
Pay it off with the kill.
First kill of the game for 23 Savage. on the Terrorblade. And this should almost bridge the gap for him to get the Pike, which is a very good item against Carry Doom. Pushing him away as he drops Scorched Earth and goes in for the kill. Even if he dooms you, right, you can Pike him away and you probably have a good chance of getting out scot-free. Break out of Sprout with it. I don't know. I'm looking at this Falcons lineup and the early lead they have, but I'm struggling a little bit to envision mid-game teamfights going their way very easily.
Pick up
Let's
one
see.
quick kill onto Snake King. Amar with a good swashbuckle, but there's not going to be any follow-up. There's a Hurricane Pike that you spoke of.
I think do you think it's fair to say that Talon's lineup is just a little bit easier to play in the coming minutes of this game? I'm looking at it like they have the obvious initiation. They have the heroes that are stronger in team fights. They have the hero giving the most information and Slark around the map.
Yeah, it's the easiest to play until Profit hits 25, Cinder.
That's right. Can always count on that becoming a problem.
Still a ways to go.
But not only that, it's also that it feels like Falcon's lineup right now kind of needs to cover some issues through itemization. And that means that's why I'm cautiously saying for the next short while, not in general until the game is over, because eventually Falcon's lineup can buy themselves out of trouble with Doom and Prophet getting like something like a Hex and obviously Refresher on Doom eventually, stuff like this to really keep the fight going. But right now, the only initiation you really have is a Pango jump. And you're playing against a Slark Shard. So good luck. Right? It's pretty tough to initiate fights on your terms. And that will give the Roshan over to 23.
Yeah, I mean, they're down 9K. Let's see how much they can get out of this Aegis.
If you had to guess, what do you think the win expectancy is 9K down here?
Maybe 60-40?
It's 53% for Talon.
Oh.
56 now.
Okay.
It's kind of interesting, right? It's not very often we see that, but nature of the
my
lineup.
God! What the hell was that?
Oh, okay. It's a lot of damage.
You just insta-gibbed him.
I can't say with confidence that it wasn't a bug.
What?
But this kill is much, much bigger.
Epicenter with the axe. Chaotic. Okay, that was definitely not needed.
Calm down.
That was not needed. But a big kill nonetheless. Maybe he has like 500 ping. You know? Looked like he needed it half a second prior. Actually, you need like 5,000.
That never
makes sense.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
I don't think there's a good excuse. It's just not a good golem, man. Unless they want to use it for pushing, then fine. There's no Roche to take. There's no Tormentor to take up here. So, but anyway, it's about sending a message to Malrine.
That's true.
Man,
Crit is on top. Oh, Makoto even more on top of it.
Jokem not so much on top of it.
Yeah. A little bit of
he didn't miss the Yules,
slight
though.
mistake. He just wants to hit him so he can get that stack. Very nicely done.
Oh my God! If he would have Yuled the creep, I would have lost. That would have been so funny.
Talon have learned their lesson with the Wisdom Shrine. Expect Falcons to be there.
Yep. I think Crit is actually a bit frustrated in this game right now because Bounty Hunter is a hero I play a lot myself, and this archetype of game is one of the worst types to be stuck in, where you have this hero that just wants to fight. You just want to give team info. You want to track. You want to brawl, and there's nobody to play with.
There hasn't been a ton of track.
There isn't an obvious, okay, now we're going to smoke and go for that fight, or let's play this area of the map. They're going to walk into us.
Ooh.
So he's kind of just walking around a bit aimlessly.
Wow, they're dodging spells left and right. Dragon form already used. Skeeter's going to use the Doom onto the said Dragon Knight. 23 Savage in the midst of things. Already at half HP. Has to be careful. This is a BKB target. He's just going to go down. That's life number 1. Nice burrow strike into the epicenter onto 3 heroes. WS is owning this fight. Both supports dead to him alone. Will BKB in the retreat. Malrine trying to right-click his way through, but he's going to Hurricane Pike onto the high ground. Amar with the Rolling Thunder. WS gets thundered by 23 Savage.
Oh,
remember,
no.
This is his second life. This is very risky.
No.
This is very bad for Talon.
No.
They lose 2. Could have been sick.
Oh.
But it was not. And now Cuckoo will get run down, although TPing out, he's fine. Makoto He will get out as well.
What makes that even more sad is I actually think WS was fine. He had juked out the play and was ready to get out with
Maybe
Blink,
he has
I think.
500 ping. Half a second earlier, Cinder.
Oh, speaking of, imagine they had Golem that fight. That would have been pretty good, I think. But unfortunately, that was on cooldown.
Yeah. But now it's ready.
2.5 minutes
They
ago.
can fight now.
That's right. Now that they don't have Aegis or a carry, Kuko's like, guys, I'm ready. Let's go fight.
That's right.
Middle tower is under attack.
Just as I say, Falcons struggle to find the fights with their bounty hunter. They finally get one here. But Crit was first to die, though, so I don't think he really benefited much. He and the Crystal Maiden died together to the big epi. And in the coming fight, WS will be a lot trickier to bring down for the counterplay from Falcons, since now he has a Ghost Scepter against the Prophet. And it's not going to be easy to nullify him. I don't think Doom is interested in buying a nullifier as a carry, but maybe he has to. Malrine will oftentimes not be in range to use it. So I really like this purchase here from WS. There were other options. You could have maybe bought Yules. You could have tanked up with a Shiva, but I think the Ghost Scepter is extremely good value right now. The cheapest way to solve the problem is often the best one. It's damage onto Joker
It's
from
insane. It is actually insane. Makoto. Infernal Blade to start things out. Gets off the Dragon Tail. They won't have their Slark support for this. Actually, Doom will be expended. There's the Chaotic Offering, but the BKB shrugs it off for Skeeter. That's the Nightfall away for the Dragon Knight. And Cuckoo's ult. Oh, we have the Epicenter again, this time only onto a couple. And that's the pipe mitigating a lot of it, but Crit will still get right-click down into Oblivion. Skeeter will be force-staffed by Malrine, who TP's out the Burrow Strike just late.
Wait, how
and now the blink for Skeeter.
How could he blink? Was he out of the Immolation Aura?
Probably.
That must have been barely. That's 300 radius from the Golem. I guess he created enough distance. I was not anticipating a blink out from him, so they get out more or less scot-free, only losing the Bounty Hunter. That's a really good outcome for Falcons.
Yeah, now with Chaotic Offering down, Epicenter
Dire's
down.
middle tower is under
See if
attack.
Falcons want to...
Meta down as well.
True. I mean, what are their options here? Do you want to fight immediately or just take this time to farm? Because we talked about how Malrine can farm with the best of them on this hero.
Yeah.
And of course, the XP department, if he gets that 25, then he becomes a true threat to their base at all times.
I wouldn't mind the fighting approach. I think the big cooldowns on Talon's ults are way more important than your Doom. But
That's a big pickup. Daedalus now.
definitely looks like they are trying to corner them here. Crit giving the info. Amar.
All right, let's see how much damage he can do to the Slark this time. Ghost Scepter, but the perma stun. He does get off the Shadow Dance. Yules now will still get stunned again and will drop as the Warlock gonna get tracked, and Amar and company will finish the job there. So 2 supports dead already for Talon. Dragon Form already expended as well. WS does have Epicenter though. Something you have to keep in the back of your mind if you are Falcons.
WS going for the Revenant's Brooch build with the Stinger. So the physical approach to the Axe instead of the magical one with Shiva. Both builds have different merit. This one should be the overall higher damage, but clearly less survivability by not having the slow aura plus armor.
Dire's
But this is also cheaper. So if you just want bang for your buck in terms of killing heroes, this is the best item you can buy now on Sand King. Most DPS per gold. Given that you get Epi off. If you don't get Epi off, this item is garbage.
Yep, you can say that
Shiva
about a lot
has
of
some
things.
secondary uses at the very least. Well, he's not getting that off.
Oh,
He got
Amar
it.
actually
He's
wants
trying
to
to
fight
TP
here. The
out.
Doom expended onto the Sand King, just TP's out. 23 Savage focusing onto Malrine. Chaotic
he's
Offering
dead.
just out of range, but it matters not. They get the Nature's Prophet anyway. Skeeter trying to do as much damage. Actually, Nightfall's away. He's going to be fine. They don't have another stun on top of that. So the Sand King dies, the Nature's Prophet dies, 1 for 1. Important kills for both sides.
That must have been close for WS. He TP'd out on pretty high health, but still died to Doom in the Fountain. I'm guessing it might have just been 1 or 2 seconds off keeping him alive, and that would have been great for Talon. This still isn't too bad. You know, you got the Prophet return kill.
Dire's middle tower
You stabilize for a bit, you get to farm. But you did use Golem.
Yeah.
Now you have to wait for that again if you want to have everything for the fight. But in reality, how important is the Golem really in this game? It's always nice to have.
Well, it hasn't been important so far.
I think this spell is honestly a little bit overrated a lot of the time. I think if I could choose a warlock
Fatal
that
bonds.
Fatal bonds is his real ult.
Yeah, I would agree.
If that was the ulti and Chaotic Offering was a base spell and then you tweak the numbers, the hero might be better. You know?
I mean, Chaotic Offering does stun through BKB. That's a big deal.
Of course. It's a good spell, don't get me wrong. It's
Well,
just
in
every
this
time we
scenario,
talk about Warlock, we talk about Golem because it's historically so important.
If Fatal Bonds was an ult, it would be undispellable, right?
That would be sick. That would be sick. Holy.
Cam will pounce away.
What a hero.
18k lead for Falcons. Crit finally gets level 15, so he gets that damage mitigation while Shadow walks.
See Jokum.
And Jokum gonna get stunned. Amar has been all over this Slark.
He is surviving
Frostbite.
really long here.
Yep, gets off the Yules as well. This is wasting a lot of Amar's ult timing here as WS goes in. They're going to be able to take out Jokum eventually. WS with the epicenter. Crit is taking the brunt of this damage. 23 Savage with the Hurricane Pike, focusing on Skeeter, who now has to run away. BKB runs out, though. Now he gets pounced, and Makoto will just be able to right-click him down eventually. Double kill for 23 Savage. They buy back onto the Slark, and results in 2 kills, maybe more.
They'll get out the rest of them, maybe? No, they
Snaking.
won't. Snake's not getting out.
Or Staff. Yeah, the Yules will find him. So it'll be a 3rd kill going the way of Talon, I think.
Can anyone connect on this? Hello?
Snaking is very elusive, it seems.
All right, there we go.
They get the stun, they get the damage.
I think you hit the nail on the head there. Jokum just bought an Eternity, and he did end up dying, and that was in spite of not using Depth Shroud. If he also would have got that off, he might have lived. I think the moment that he used Ghost Scepter, if he could somehow cast Depth Shroud first instead and then Ghost Scepter at the end of that, maybe he even lives. But regardless, this is one of the big assets of this support Slark. You're really seeing it in action here. It's just how much of a lightning rod he is, and you're not even sure you're getting the kill. And you also can't totally ignore the hero, because he's just going to give full vision in the fight. He's going to run around, interrupt stuff, be annoying. And if you do nothing about him, eventually he's just going to hit heroes enough times to get some damage raking up. Right.
Keep in mind, Doom was not used here. He's not going to be up for 30 seconds, but does have his buyback available if he wants to expend it. They're going to focus right now. There's the Depth Shroud used on 23 Savage. Should be safe as a result. Amar continuing to be a nuisance. Of course, neither team knows if Roche is up. It's not quite yet. Guaranteed in the next 10 seconds, though. The very, very late spawn.
I'll see it now.
And this is going to buy time for Falcons, because Doom's ult still there.
This is going to be close. Malrine already
seconds,
TP'd bottom.
All right.
15 seconds on his ability to connect with the fight. This could be really, really close if Falcons wanted to check it. I just don't know if they do.
Yep, it's not the fastest Roche.
They are arriving. Crit.
Yeah, the vision advantage definitely in favor of Talon right now.
They're giving up on it for now.
Roche is only at half HP as Makoto goes to the high ground. 23 Savage getting gone on by Amar. Big ult from the Nature's Prophet. 23 Savage super low. Gets the BKB up. The Thunder does nothing. He is dead. 80 seconds on the deck. In the pit, Roche is going to beat the shit out of the Sand King as well. So 2 dead for Talon. And just like that, Falcons with a massive advantage. Rolling Thunder now from Amar. Going to force out the BKB on Makoto. Will Nightfall away? No bash.
That was pretty unlucky for
Into
Amar.
the pit they go. Jokum will find his way to the grave, and Roche is all for Falcons. They get the goodies.
Dear. That's one of those situations where now Talon are just sitting there. Guys, if we had just done nothing, it would have been infinitely better. They kind of gave this to Falcons with the way this was set up, but it wasn't obvious that this was going to end poorly. I have to say, though, I did not like the Dragon Knight initiation. Makoto really forced the issue. They're blinking onto the enemy high ground alone to start off that fight. I think it's much better to let Slark play that role, let the fight develop a little bit, and then you find your targets, you get a big epi, instead of taking the fight into just a disadvantageous position that you didn't really need to. Falcons reap some major rewards out of that, and, well, this could just be the beginning of the end, honestly.
It could be. That's
this
one
is
lane.
At least 2 lanes. Nature's Prophet is very good at pushing. He's not even 25 yet. If he was 25, it would have been GG 30 seconds ago.
Rolling Thunder forcing Talon back. Sand King's up in 5 seconds. Terrorblade in 10. They won't have the Slark for this fight if it does start here.
This is 2 lanes.
But too much damage to the buildings. 2 sets for Falcons. They'll be able to walk away safely in all likelihood. as well. Amar, though,
Get top.
showing himself. Oh, the Dragon Tail. The sound goes off, but the blink is too quick. And there you're seeing the Shadow Walk from Crit with the Shard being applied to Amar, so they both get the damage mitigation.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And now the lead massive for Falcons.
And they didn't even expend the Aegis to get these 2 lanes. So they still have they're still in a very strong position heading into the next fight. Big item being picked up on Snaking as well with the E-Blade on Maiden. Classic sight, of course. We see that all the time. Crystal Maiden's getting 6 slotted and standard in modern Dota.
I mean, on Snaking, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. It's really good here, though. There's so much physical damage, right? Sand King, Terrorblade, Dragon Knight.
And Amar being a nuisance. Runs into the Slark again. Feels like he's got radar for him at all times.
Is under attack.
Yeah, and now the Dagon's starting to come out sooner because Malrine is level 25.
Everybody loved that.
Oh yeah, the Mjolnir charge on him as well. Yeah, Dragon Tail into the Dagon. God, that must feel so good.
Gotta say, they were ready for it, though, right? They're
Yeah, they
completely
were.
on top of it. They have the Dagon as he hits 25, so...
Well,
A lot of the times we're
when you
seeing
play
pro
against
games-
something for a full year without it being patched,
Yeah.
you know, you get used to these kind of
I
things.
just feel like I've seen a lot of pro games, even in the last couple of months, where Prophet reaches 25 and nobody has a solution. Then they're like, oh shit, we need to get something against
Yeah,
France.
those are the teams with major ADHD.
Okay.
As Slark will die, Skeeter gets credit for that.
Sure,
That is the
makes
Doom
sense
down.
now.
60 seconds of no Slark. Even a Nullifier coming online for Mr. Skeeter. Well, Dragon Tail initiation of the Burrow Strike. That's a dead Snake King, and like you talked about, that's a very important hero in terms of farm. And the Rolling Thunder onto the sideline, just again creating a nuisance. They actually use Chaotic Offering on top of Amar. Has the shield crash though
Oh,
for a lot
nice.
of damage mitigation. Will swashbuckle away.
Wow, that was
Gets
a
Shadow
really
Walk.
clutch Shadow Walk.
And Malrine in the trees, but they have the vision. This is life number 1 for him. Big Wrath of Nature after the fact. Crit continue to give vision. They have the surround tactics though, as Malrine getting melted. Amar gets a nice swashbuckle, killing one, but WS with the epicenter on the sideline. Malrine finally does drop, has the buyback if he needs to use it, but they get the Terror Blade. Makoto will die next. Double kill for Skeeter, alive during all of this. And if they wanted, they could buy back on Nature's Prophet and just end things right now. Of course, they're not 100% sure on the buyback
Dire's
situation,
top
I'm sure.
tower is under
Yeah.
attack.
So things will settle down a bit. Not quite over yet. 31K lead for Falcons.
And we are starting, again, you can definitely tell the promise from Talon's fights. If this wasn't such a numerically hard game right now, I definitely think they have...
Oh man, the Alpha Wolf, by the way. We didn't talk about that. I love seeing it.
Yep.
I feel like that's an older school build that we didn't see for a long time. It was Centaur Hoof Stomp for Doom.
Yeah.
Always.
And now
Very.
that you're playing Carry Doom, there's just so much value.
Love it.
Pack Leader's Aura, obviously also great for the Prophet to play with, getting that extra damage. All right, they're going to try to poke the high ground here.
Is under attack.
Yeah, push is not quite as potent without the Nature's Prophet. But he'll be back in 30 seconds. Oh, Doom applied to Slark. They know he doesn't have a buyback. Trying to limp back to base, but I think he's just ticking out here.
Yeah, this is
He
a 25
is
talent Doom, so he can't use his
Down
Yules.
and out. No way to get back in the game. And oh, that was
What?
a Sand King that evaporates.
Okay, the Slark death is one thing. That Sand King death, I don't understand what just happened. Why was he there?
No,
Okay, well,
it doesn't matter. Game is over.
that's game, yeah.
Surely.
Prophet's just going to TP in here and spawn a Treant, and it will end the game alone. Let's see it. Here it comes. Here
There it
comes Greater
is.
Treant. This is Bobby.
Cactus.
Dire's middle
Oh, the
Very
banner,
powerful.
Honestly, the banner not working on this is really bad. I think it should work on Treant.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is the second tier 4 down in favor of Falcons as this is the beginning of the end for 23 Savage.
Good
Coming to get a
thunder.
nice thunder onto Amar. Able to Rolling Thunder away though. And Cuckoo gets the Death Golem out, but it matters not. Dragon Knight all alone. GG's called, and that is a 2-0 for Falcons.
Yeah, fair to say, just overall better this series. This game was a little more interesting. Talon